Chris, what's kind of your first impressions seeing the bracket and all that so far?
Well, our first impression was excitement. I mean, just excited to be in, excited to play. And man, I think we got a tough regional. I mean, I think the teams in our regional, St. John's, historically, I played against them a bunch in the Big East. They're really good. Penn had a great postseason last year, and then obviously the host, Virginia's had a great year, very offensive club. So we got our work in front of us.
What was the feedback that you got on why you're on the road instead of hosting?
Well, I got a little feedback. It's just so subjective in that room. They take the pieces they want and move them around. And obviously, yeah, our RPI wasn't as good as it should have been. We lost a couple early in the year, probably the first week of the season, probably is what you can look at. But I heard the commissioner of the committee talk about consistency and common opponents, and a lot of things he talked about didn't have anything to do with us because, you know, we didn't get swept on any road trips. We played one of the hardest schedules in the country. The quad one wins or so. I mean, we probably have, you could take 4 hosts and add all theirs together. They don't have as many as us. But it is what it is. I mean, we, you know, like I said, there's been teams go a lot of different ways. And I've been a part of, holy cow. Gavin, go down there. Tell them they're going to have to shut this one down. I just don't know who hit that ball, but like, we can't do that.
We're going to die.
Go! You got to shut this one down for a minute. Guy just, I mean. So, they can hit in the other one. But, sorry. Somebody could die right there, though.
Yeah,
Like,
that's
Thank you.
But that, you know, I mean, like I said, it's a little frustrating because it's so subjective. You don't know who's in the room, who's fighting for you, and everything else, and what's the fight for. And sometimes the fight's for RPI because it helps a lot of SEC teams get in. But I just look up and we have the most SEC teams in ever, and we finished 5th in the SEC. We have 20 wins, and we're not a host. I mean, so. And our resume and Georgia resumes are very close. RPI is not the indicator. I'm sorry. Football's gone away from it. Basketball's gone away from it. And for us, RPI in the last week, we go to Hoover and we beat Ole Miss, a neutral site, beat the number 1 RPI in the country, neutral site. We lose to Vanderbilt, who's got a good RPI, and then we lose to the number 1 team in the country, and we fall. And that's where that's the only knock you got on us is RPI, and it's not the best thing. It's the best if your team's in that situation, but unfortunately it is what it is. So we're past it. I told our kids we're at 0, and now it's nothing matters. We're all even, and we just get ready to go.
How did the team kind of take the news of not hosting and the draw itself?
Well, they were excited about the draw. I mean, they're excited to get in. A lot of these kids haven't been to a regional. So last night we weren't all together, but there was a lot of mumbling on the phones in our group. We have a big group text message, and so they were probably pretty pissed off.
Tyler Davis has been such a big part of your bullpen this season, but obviously last year wasn't the best year for him. Have you seen him kind of turn things around this year?
I think it's a little mechanically. I think they made a couple, you know, him and Coach Parker, and then a little bit confidence. You know, sometimes confidence goes a long way in this game, and so I thought his was a lot of confidence. He's built up as the season went on, and he's been really good for us.
You mentioned, you know, a lot of players on this team not having this regional experience. How much do you think the time in Hoover can prepare them for this week ahead?
Well, I think it was huge. Like I told the guys, I said we're not going to go to an atmosphere that was too big for us, because we've done that already. We're not going to go somewhere where there's a team that's just better than what we've played. No offense to Virginia or anybody, but we've just played the best in the country. And then I doubt many people want us showing up at the regional. So I think that atmosphere, what we have gone through, our journey has prepared us to go and play our best baseball anywhere.
Especially after
Connor and Brooks made the all-tournament team. Obviously, they had a good week in Hoover. Just talk about what they meant to the team this past week.
Well, Brooks' performance was kind of magical that night, and then Connor with the big hits. I mean, it was nice to have Connor back, get him at bats, get him ready. He had some huge hits, and I still don't think he was 100%. You can just still see him out there kind of trying to find it a little bit. So they'll both be huge for us this upcoming week. It'd be nice to have them back.
going off of that, especially with this last week with Connor, what has he meant to you since he got here in Starkville, and what does he bring on and off the field?
Well, last year was such a hard year for him because he should have played more. I mean, and unfortunately we had, you know, Colton Ledbetter, Dakota as a freshman, Kellum Clark, kind of got behind some guys there. And but as time has gone on, he's proven his worth. And we had a lot of talks this time last summer. You know, he could have signed probably, you know, and You know, said, no, Coach, he's such a wonderful kid. So being able to come back and prove it to everybody, and for him to have this experience has been pretty cool. And I love having his little brother on the video board. So it wouldn't be the same without his brother.
You mentioned St. John's. They beat Florida in the season opener and then went and played Texas. I mean, this isn't just a Big East team that's just kind of hidden up there in the East. They're a team that went out and played some games. I mean, so what are your initial thoughts on them?
I haven't done too much, but I've just played against them. It's just tough, hard-nosed New York kids. Most of them are from the New York area, you know, the state, and you're playing against just some tough kids. And I've known their coach since he was a player in college, and he, you know, it's the same thing. It's just the hard-nosed mindset. So you're gonna have to go up there and beat them because they're gonna give you a great effort.
Regionals can be tricky with pitching, but I mean, you've shown now that you have three, 4 guys that can go out there and give you 5, 6 innings pitching. I mean, how do you feel about, especially your starting pitching, and now that you've added Nate into the mix too, where you are right now throwing the baseball?
I feel good with our staff. I mean, I think we have one of the better staffs in the country, especially 2 of the better starters in the country. We haven't looked at them. Who would start there yet. Right now we have the ability to start anybody we want because of the couple extra days from the tournament. So, and they needed that. Our guys needed that. Durangelo needed it. Cal needed it. Our guys needed some time off. So this couple extra days, having the weekend off was huge for those guys.
How about offensively too? How big was it for some of the guys that maybe struggled in Hoover to have, you know, a couple days to get away?
I spent those 2 days at church, so we're doing everything we can. So I doubt that. So, but it is good to get away from the game, and sometimes this game can be really cruel. And but we got a good lineup. They've hit all year, and they've had weeks where they haven't hit, and they come back and hit. So you can see right behind me, they're out here banging balls. Been banging balls yesterday, today, this morning, and Goat will have them ready to go.
Another Connor question for you. Obviously, 3 years ago, he was a shortstop for that VCU team that was here. What was it about Connor after that season? Things that kind of stood out to you that made you want him to put on the room? What?
There's a ton of extra base hits, and it was a big athlete. I always, when I saw him, I saw Jordan Westbrook. I'm not saying he's Jordan Westbrook, he's one of the best players in the big leagues now, but it's the same body type, the energy, the athleticism. The swings were similar. I mean, Connor at times when he first got here would swing and miss at breaking stuff, which obviously Jordan did. So I just saw a lot of similarities, and it was just, you know, we thought he could play some infield for us. He hasn't done that for us, but he's jumped out there at center field and done a really good job.
What's the rest of the week look like for your team?
Practice today, practice tomorrow, and then try to do an early practice on Wednesday and get on a flight out of here Wednesday afternoon. So get out there, and then we have a Thursday practice mid-afternoon there in Charlottesville. And I don't even know, has anybody seen the game times for Friday?
6 on Friday.
We played a 6 o'clock game?
6 Central.
7 there.
Yeah, 7 o'clock there, okay. So they do it like we do it here. Some people just do it the other way. So, so yeah, we'll play at 7 o'clock on Friday night.